Peace and blessings, family. It's your girl Sonny back again with another one. Today must be Tell the Truth Monday. I think about a lot of different things. I think about how God has always protected me and guided me and watched over me. And not even a year after returning to my mom from foster care, one morning getting ready for school, there was a large knock at the door because I was still going to school in Queens, even though I moved to Washington Heights. I did that for a while until it became too much, and then I just entered the school down the block from me. I was at junior high school 164. Um, so I went there, but there was a large bang, bang, bang one morning. Like, who was that? So my mom went. Make a long story short, it was the Marshalls. We got evicted. First time getting evicted. It's embarrassing. You don't know what you're going through. It was hell. So fast forward, took my brother to his grandmother's house in Canarsie. Um, well, I had to be 14, so he was 9. Yeah. Then me and my mom with all these freaking garbage bags and stuff. To this day, I hate carrying a freaking bag, yo. I hate carrying a bag. A garbage bag, anything large, I hate it with a passion. Talk about that trauma. Talk about that trauma. So we ended up taking him to his grandmother's house. I think we went to some social services places. Then we ended up going to the park, Sunset Park. It's funny because I lived a couple of blocks away from there. I tell you, I moved a lot as a kid. So I let her go to sleep first. I let her go to sleep first. I'm 14, but I let her go to sleep first. She took a nap, then I took a nap. And what did we do afterwards? That first day was just crazy. But to make a long story short, we did the little EAU emergency assistance unit thing back in Brooklyn, and this had to be 85, 86, nope, 85 because I was 14. Anybody from New York know how it was back then? Oh my gosh, it was something else. So we went through the hotel things. You would be at EAU, and they would probably give you a hotel 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You may go for a night. You may go for 2 or 3 days. You may go for a week. You never know what you was gonna get. So you gotta travel from Brooklyn to Queens. We ain't have no lifts, no Ubers, anything back then, and you damn sure wasn't taking no cab from Brooklyn to Queens. Well, wasn't nobody paying for that. You was hopping right there on the train. Baby, that's like a good hour or so, if not that. And then when you get to Queens, there's not a hotel right there by the train station. So either you gotta walk it or take a cab or it was something else. By the time, man, so you might have to do a day there. So you're getting in 2, 3 in the morning. You gotta check out in the morning. Then you're going back to social services. It was like not. It was a hamster wheel. EAU welfare, the hotel, the dot, the dot, the dot, the dot. The. Man, I got tired of that after a couple of months. Like, what my? Let's just go to a shelter. At this point, the shelters had such a bad reputation. Nobody wanted to go to a shelter. Then you had the worst welfare hotels. That's what they was called. Check the news. They were called welfare hotels. You had the Brooklyn Arms, downtown Brooklyn. You had the Prince George, was on 28th Street. It's funny because years later I started working there as a security guard, but it was no longer a welfare hotel. It was closed down for a while. Then it became a SRO, a single room occupancy, for people with AIDS, HIV, and mental illness, low income, low to middle income. So full circle moment there. And the Martinique, which was on 34th Street. That was a horrible hotel. It was big, used to be beautiful, but by the time it became a welfare hotel, you would hear about it on the news. People getting raped, murdered, selling drugs. Like you had to. When I went to visit my friends there, they would literally walk me down in the elevator to make sure I got out of there safe. Which my mother didn't even want me in there. She didn't even know I was there. But we ended up going to a shelter, Cumberland, the old Cumberland Hospital in Fort Greene. We ended up going there. And I'm like, yo, can it get any worse? Because I went to school right there at on Myrtle Avenue, not too far away from Cumberland. So I knew the kids that was in Fort Greene Projects because most of us went to school together. And we was when we was at EAU, it's weird because I lived around the corner from the Duffield Social Services Department on Albee Square, which was literally right around the corner. I was there before they built the mall in Brooklyn. Where the mall sits now is where I used to ride my bike across the street from my house through the rubble. It was like this large field that we were just playing right across the street from the house. Yeah, so I got to watch the mall actually go from this field that we played in to being built. So it's like each place we went, I had a history there. I had my old friends, which is nothing more embarrassing than carrying a bunch of bags. You going through, first of all, you don't know where you're gonna live. You don't have a key to get in someplace. You with your mother and your younger brother. I mean, God had to build me up. He had to build me up because, and then when we got to Cumberland, I would try to sneak in and sneak out because you don't want nobody to see you coming out of no shelter. At this point, I'm 14 years old. Who wants somebody to see me coming out of shelter? And I had, homegirls and homeboys that was in there. We was all teenagers, rocking what we was rocking, still being fly, but we still ain't had nowhere to live. I had a big radio, still ain't had nowhere to live. So your parents tried to give you things. Well, my mother tried to give us things, but shit, all I wanted was a bedroom at that time. And I don't know why I'm even telling you the story because it's bringing up emotions right now. And I look at my daughter at 7 and I thank God that she has never and will never go through any of the things that I went through because it was like one thing after another after another. I mean, I was just getting used to being home out of foster care before I had to go into, the shelter system and go through all of that. And I met a lot of nice people there, but I met a lot of deviants too. I met a lot of most of my friends was criminals growing up in there because it was decent people, but I wasn't rocking with them. They was like little nerds, and their parents wasn't letting them out the room, and my friends was out there smoking weed, drinking, doing this, and we was all into hip hop, and we'd go to the jams and stuff. So it was an interesting time. And a lot of friends that I have now at 53, I knew since I was a teenager going through. And we all were poor and didn't even realize how poor we was until we became adults to say, damn, we ain't have nothing. We really didn't have anything at that time. But we had each other. We had love. And I grew up in the crack epidemic, so I got to see the whole community change. I mean, it went from us loving and being taken care of by our elders to your elders being in the streets becoming junkies, trying to give your homeboys fellatio for a $10 vow or something. And then grandmas and aunts and uncles got to raise kids that's not even theirs. Grandmas and grandpa. I mean, so I tell people when I sit back and you think you just got to thank God. You got to thank God that you survived this. You got to thank God that He still allowed you to have your mind. Because I got to see a lot of families torn up. I got to see some close friends of mine. Their mother just abandoned them, and they was in the shelter. She abandoned them, and she was in the streets getting high. They would literally have to find her the day before they food stamps and check hit to get her ID, so she would not sell her food stamps and just buy crack, just buy crack. It's amazing. But back then, I mean, life was different, and that's why people Gen X, anybody that's a Gen X, especially if you're from New York, we made different. We made different. I mean, they was blowing smoke in our faces while we was children. I mean, most of our mothers was still smoking and probably drinking while they was pregnant with us. We had it hard. We really had it hard. Now to think about it, we had it hard. But no matter what you go through, you can make it. I never let the things that I went through hold me back. I never held it against my mother. She was a single parent of three children. I always could see her plight and what she went through, and then she lived a life before I was born that I didn't know her backstory and the things that she probably went through. So I never held it against her. I was like, she doing her best, doing whatever. Um, and she got caught up in the same Probably was before I was born. I mean, I didn't even know. So you can't hold things against people. As you get older, you say, "Damn, mommy should have did this. Mommy should have did that." Until you hit them streets yourself. When you hit them streets, baby, and you start experimenting and doing things that you shouldn't do, you realize how the enemy is. And by me having what 20 some years of sobriety, I'm good. So I know what can happen in the streets. I know how you never point a finger and say what you woulda, coulda, shoulda did. Because baby, that all the things that most of the things I said I never do, I did, and I had a ball doing it. It's only by the grace of God that I'm still sitting here right now. And anybody who knows me, they know that's the truth. It's only by the grace of God that I'm sitting here in my right state of mind, never been in jail, never murdered anybody, never been shot, stabbed, and I got my master's at 53. And if you know me, you need to be standing up right now and shouting. And don't worry, because I already did, and I'm going to keep doing it. But I just want to let y'all know that life is life. Life has been life and before any of us was ever born. And it's going to continue life and from the other generations that's going to come. That's what life is about. This is not heaven. This is not the hereafter. This is earth. This is the world. This is the 3D. It's not the 5D. This is the 3D. So you got to make it the best way you can. As long as you have a moral compass and you try to treat people the right way, you don't try to snake people, and you're not grimy, and you don't have ill intentions towards one another, and you try to uplift your brothers and sisters. And mind you, I've just seen the worst in humanity, and I still believe in spirit. I still believe in the goodness of my brothers and sisters. I still believe in uplifting humanity. I still believe in praying for my enemies. Now, I may never talk to you again in life, but I will pray for you. And we're not meant to be deaf, dumb, and blind, because if you hurt me once, you'll do it again. The first time is on you. The second, third, or whatever is on me. So I don't make that mistake. Once you hurt me once, that's a wrap. I'm good. But I'll pray for you. You might be on fire. I might not spit on you, but I'll pray for you. And that's deep. Depending on what you did to me, I'll walk away. I can walk away from any situation. Now, that's the one thing that I did learn from my parents. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I could walk away from any situation or anybody in a second. I don't know if it's from that kid that was in foster care. I don't know if it was that kid that was homeless. I don't know if it was that kid that went through so many different things. If it was that kid that was hurt and teased in school because of my disability. I don't know if it was that kid had went through things in their own household because it was dysfunctional, who came from a broken household, who came from the ghetto and was raised around deviants and animals and savages. But I could leave any situation and anybody in a quick of in a second, in a nanosecond. I'm out. I will always put myself first and foremost. And I'm still healing, as we all are. I'm still healing. But this is just to let you know that you're not alone. You're not the only one who's gone through it. For your perspective will always be different from the next person, and it's nothing that you can't do. I'm not ashamed of anything that I went through because it wasn't me, it was the situation I was in. I was not that situation. I am not that situation. I will never be that situation. And all you could do is reach and teach to the next ones. There's someone right now, and I think that's probably why my heart goes out when I see people in the street, when I see people who don't have anything, and when I see babies going through, and you know, this life journey that we go on is not just for us, it's for us to help. It's for us. God will shine a light on certain things. And it's up to you when you become older and you become stronger that you can do things to help your brothers and sisters around you. This world is not perfect and it was never meant to be perfect. But we have to be there for one another. We have to be there for one another. So I pray that this touches someone and whatever you're going through, it will get better. It can get better. If you have nowhere to go, there's a lot of churches, there's a lot of shelters, there's a lot of rehabs, there's a lot of, in this country, there's a lot of help. I mean, with this administration, you better run and try to get some help, though, because they're trying to shut everything down. But there's still a lot of grassroots organizations that's willing to help, as long as as you go looking for the help. Um, but there's nothing that you can't do. If you believe in yourself and you believe in spirit, there's nothing that you can't do. I had the world on my shoulders, and I still fought for what I wanted. And I'm gonna fight until my last breath for everything that I deserve, everything that I desire, every wish that wasn't granted. I'm like Jacob. I'm not gonna let go until I get my blessings. I'm not gonna let go until I get my blessings. So until next time, brothers and sisters, it gets better. It will get better. My superpower is God. God was my imaginary friend as a kid. God has been my strength, my protector, my God, my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my stronghold, my tower, my will in the middle of a will. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know that Jesus is going to be here and make sure it's okay. I know that he's going to hold me by my hand and cover me and protect me from everything that anybody has ever tried to do to me. I know that he said that he will make my enemies my footstool and that his word will never come back to him void. I know that he said, touch not my anointed. So I know that I'm always going to be okay because I'm covered by the blood, baby. I'm covered by the blood. So until next time, brothers and sisters, I don't care what the cover may look like. You got to open up and see the book, baby. And the book is always a beautiful read. As long as it begins with Christ and it ends with Christ. It ends with spirit. It starts with spirit, whatever you want to call him, however you want to identify with him. But know that there's something greater than you that protects you, that wakes you up, that puts you to sleep, that gives you whatever it is that you want. You are a co-creator with spirit. So start creating something positive and not negative. Until next time, love and light, peace and blessings, I say.